Hi, I'm Chad Bettis, author of The Disciple Making Parent, and this is my audio blog, where I read some of my blog posts in audio format for your convenience. Well, in this episode, we're going to be looking at a few magic phrases that Sharon and I used with our young children. In fact, we'll be looking at 5. And this material comes from my Parenting with Confidence course. It's the foundational material, what we might call Parenting 101. And as I was presenting this material recently in Charlotte, North Carolina, it got me thinking about little magic phrases that were repeated in our house when our children were small. And no, I can't point to a verse backing each of these up, but they fall under wisdom application. So I would encourage you to use them. I think you'll find them helpful. The first magic phrase was this: freeze. Freeze was our code word for absolute, unquestioning obedience. Sharon and I would use it for semi-life-threatening circumstances like walking across a parking lot. With 4 children in 6 years, there were times that there was only room for 1 or 2 in the shopping carriage, and that meant the other 2 had to walk close by. Or we might need that command for walking in the parking lot after church. And we had fun training our kids to comply to this command, freeze. So we'd tell our children, imagine there was a wild snake behind them that mom or dad saw. And when we said freeze, they needed to freeze because their life might depend on it. And so we would practice that maybe on a Sunday afternoon. And it was fun. It was kind of like freeze tag. And they loved it. So we would say freeze. And everybody had to freeze. The second magic phrase we had around our house was, please don't. Please don't was our code word for when sibling-to-sibling wrestling or teasing should stop. So young kids can and should horse around and wrestle. We want them to do that. But sometimes, in our house at least, the bigger ones might take advantage of the smaller ones. All the smaller ones had to say was this: please don't. And that was supposed to stop it. And so when we would break up inevitable squabblings, which of course are going to happen, one of the first questions was to the younger one, did you say, please don't? If they had, that had settled it. The bigger one was the guilty party. If not, then the younger one needed to learn that he should have said, stop, which the code word was, please don't. So that was the second magic phrase around our house. Third magic phrase was understand. I've written a whole post on why I would suggest okay is not okay. In that post, I'm arguing that when we say okay with a question mark, we're asking them if they want to do something. But in our good desire to soften our direct command, when we end with okay, our child hears in the moment a suggestion that he may or may not want to obey. Instead, to soften the directive or command, Sharon and I would often end with understand. That took the edge off our command, but let them know we were still giving a direct command. So instead of saying, Jason, wash your hands and get ready for dinner, okay? We would say something like, Jason, wash your hands and get ready for dinner. Do you understand? Saying understand helped soften the directive, but also made sure that they knew it was a command. The fourth magic phrase that was used often around our house was, please may I appeal. And this was heard around our house so many times on a good day, not always, but on a good day. We did have to remind our children at times, but this is the proper response to a direct command that our children may not want to obey or may have good reason to not obey. For example, Jason, stop playing and come to dinner. Please may I appeal? Sure, what more do you want to tell me? I'm almost done building this tower. Can I have 5 more minutes? Sure, I will set the timer. Please may I appeal is a great magic phrase to teach our children so that they can respond to our direct command. And finally, the fifth magic phrase was, yes, Mom. This was supposed to be the proper response to calling their name and getting their attention. So the point of using their name was to get their attention and break through their concentration of what they're doing. And the point of the response was to help us realize that they had heard us. So again, on our best days, not always, but on our best days, a scenario might play out like this. Jason? Yes, Mom. Could you help your sister with your coat? Yes, Mom. It didn't always happen like that, idealized exchange, but that was the goal, and that was what we were working toward. Well, these are 5 magic phrases that we tried to implement around our house. Freeze, please don't, understand, please may I appeal, and yes, Mom. If you want to see more practical suggestions like this, then check out the Parenting with Confidence material. Thank you for listening to the Disciple Making Parent audio blog. This material can be found in our video course, Parenting with Confidence. It's specifically aimed at parents of young children, so you can find more information on our website at parentingwithconfidencestudy.com. That's parentingwithconfidencestudy.com. Thanks for listening.